Welcome to the Recapify Show. Today we're going to review this amazing movie called The Menu. I'm going to take you through it, so sit back and relax. On a remote island, a large group of affluent people are having dinner in an odd yet opulent restaurant as the film opens. When the world's wealthiest individuals tire of their wealth, they flock to this eatery to restore joy to their life. The cook explains to everyone how. The guests have no idea that this dinner experience will not be what they had anticipated. The focus of the film, The Menu, then moves to a few hours earlier. Tyler is a wealthy young guy, which is unexpected. Having supper with the beautiful Margot, his girlfriend, the young couple is traveling to a prestigious restaurant to enjoy the menu of this island restaurant. Famous chef Julian Slowick has a restaurant named Hawthorne, which is located in the center of a personal island. Taking a motorboat to the island, the new couples is joined by a cuisine reviewer and her editor, a movie star and his personal assistant, and other wealthy elites. With three prosperous business partners, Richard and Anne are yet another wealthy couple. Also joined the group, and it appears that Richard and Margot had some sort of prior connection. The head waitress welcomes the visitors to the island as soon as they arrive at their location. Elsa, after giving them a tour of the island, she directs the visitors toward the restaurant. Visitors may also see where the restaurant crew lives. Elsa asserts that the workforce starts their day at 6 and finishes it at 2 in the morning. They're like family to one another. Finally, the diners enter the establishment and take seats, ready to enjoy the menu. The open kitchen has a variety of high-end top-notch cooking equipments, great ingredients, and chefs may be seen assembling the meal with extraordinary care and attention to detail. Honestly, I admired the level of keenness of these hardworking chefs. Elsa warns the visitors not to take photos of the food before leaving. She didn't want their menu to leak to their competitors. You know this a special menu, only meant for the rich and famous. That is, me and you. Yes, you, the one watching this amazing show here on Recapify. Chef Slowick claims that the fleeting quality of his dishes is what gives them their beauty. Elsa then tells Chef Slowick about Tyler's uninvited guest as he enters the kitchen. Elsa never liked this beautiful lady called Margot. I will tell you more about them in this movie. Here, we learn that Tyler had made reservations for 2 tables at the eatery a year or so ago. But at that time, he was linked up with another person. Therefore, Margot isn't technically booked in to attend. Although Slowick is obviously not pleased about it, he chooses to let it go. The evening will be a 6-course feast, and the first course will be served. As the visitors begin to eat, Tyler secretly takes a picture of the delicacy. The food is praised by everybody, but Margot is unimpressed. After the second course is served by the crew, Chef Slowick finally addresses his guests. Also joined the group, and it appears that Richard and Margot had some sort of prior connection. Finally, the diners enter the establishment and take seats. We, the people on this island, are not important. The island and the nutrients it provides exist in their most perfect state without us, gathering them or manipulating them or digesting them. What happens inside this room is meaningless compared to what happens outside in nature, in the soil, in the water, in the air. We are but frighted nanosecond. Nature is timeless. Enjoy words that took Ledford into deep thought to the extent of shading tears. He is a great chef indeed. Food critic Lillian analyzes that food, and she said we are eating the ocean. Yes, Miss Bloom, you are eating it. The algae, fish, and other oceanic creatures found on your menu. Chef Slowick took time to give his guest a short history about bread, which was on the menu. Chef Slowick said that bread has existed in some form for over 12,000 years, especially amongst the poor. Flour and water. What could be simpler? Even today, grain represents 65% of all agriculture. Fruits and vegetables only 60%. Ancient Greek peasants dipped their stale, measly bread in wine for breakfast. And how did Jesus teach us to pray if not beg for our daily bread? Beg for our daily bread. It's, and has always been, the food of the common man. But you, my dear guests, are not the common man. And so, tonight, shocked at the breadless bread plate. How are you not gonna savor bread at the restaurant known for their bread? That's sweet, Felicity asked. Please enjoy the unaccompanied accompaniments. We learned the bread they didn't serve was made from heritage wheat called Red Fife, crafted with their partners at the Tehachapi Grain Project, devoted to preserving heirloom grains. Tyler is impressed with this breadless plate. Elsa refused to serve bread even though the customer requested it. Instead of serving the bread, she whispered to one of the guests that you eat less than you desire and more than you deserve. Imagine having dinner at such a restaurant knowing very well you are spending $1,300 per night. This is 70% of the salary of most people in my town. Yet you are being served a breadless plate. This is a rich man's menu, right? Indeed, this menu was unique, different, a special menu for special people. People eating their money on a big spoon. The menu only makes sense when you eat. Chief telling Margot. Chief introduces the next course, memory. So let me tell you a memory of mine. When Chief Slowick was growing up as a child in Waterloo, Iowa, Tuesday was taco night, Taco Tuesday. He also introduces his mother. When he was 7 years old, one Tuesday, his father came home quite drunk, really drunk. Also not unusual. Slowick's mother grew angry and screamed at his father, at which point Chef's father proceeded to wrap a telephone cord around his mother's neck and pull it tight. The chef screamed and the chef begged him to stop. To make him stop, the chef finally had to stab his father in the thigh with kitchen scissors. Now, Chef regrets not stabbing his father in the throat that evening. But we're not so smart when we're young. It was, as you can imagine, a very memorable taco night. One of the guests is happy that the chef has told them the backstory to what makes him a chef artist. But food critic Miss E.O. calls it theatrical. Chef served them house, smoked breast chicken, thigh al pastor, and their own tortillas made with heirloom mesa. This is one of Hawthorne's signature dishes. Mrs. Bloom is aware of this signature meal. She even told the chef Slowick such a meal will put him on the map, meaning such cuisine will make Chef Slowick's menu to become extremely popular globally. It was already popular. Yes, the menu was well known by the rich people, the likes of Mr. Richard, who was Slowick's loyal customer. The taco have guests' images engraved on them. Tyler is surprised that his taco has an image of him taking photos at the very restaurant. Elsa had to explain to the guest what tortillas were, that they contain Echo Bright's tax records and other documents showing how the guest's company created invoices with fake charges. The guest got shocked with this information. Is this a restaurant or a criminal investigation department? How can you be served food with an engraved image of your past? SA doesn't reveal how they got that information because Chef Slowick doesn't reveal his recipes to his workers. Fourth course. Chef Slowick introduces a talented sous chef, Jeremy Loudon from Sparks, Nevada, who studied at the Culinary Institute in Hyde Park. Created the fourth dish called the mess, although Chef Slowick dismisses Chef Jeremy's desire to become a great chef like home. He said that although Jeremy aspires to greatness, he will never achieve it. Really, imagine your boss telling you this in front of your colleagues and investors. The reason why Jeremy will never be like Chef Slowick is that Chef Jeremy had forsaken everything to attain his goal. Everything. Family, health, happiness. Jeremy's life is full of pressure to put out the best food or menu in the world. Design quality menu, create high-class cuisines in order to please the diners and hotel investors who were ungrateful for such exemplary work that the chefs were doing. That even when all goes right and the food or menu is perfect and the critics and customers are happy, there is no way someone can avoid messing. No one is perfect. I agree with Chef Slowick. You will have a mess in your life, your sanity, your body. By giving everything you have to pleasing people, you will never know. I really like this part, and the questions posed by Chef Slowick to Chef Jeremy. I have watched that part several times. I'm sorry if you don't find it interesting. Okay, let's go back to the storyline. The mess. I really like this part, and the questions posed by Chef Slowick to Chef Jeremy. I have watched that part several times. I'm sorry if you don't find it interesting. Okay, let's go back to the storyline. The mess. Is Chef Jeremy shooting himself? Everybody was shocked. Chef Slowick informed the diners that this is an exclusive experience. It's part of the show and it's part of the menu. It's what they paid for. What? No way. They never paid for that. They paid for the special menu, not to watch someone blowing himself up. The menu indicated that their next course was the mess. The mess is cooked vegetables, potato confit bone marrow, beef juice, and roasted filet. Mr. Richard Leibrandt was very frightened by the whole event. The fourth course, the mess, he didn't like this menu at all. Despite this, he has been in this restaurant 11 times. He tried to leave, but Elsa, the chief waitress, blocked him from leaving. Mr. Richard Ringfinger is chopped off for trying to escape. Is this how you treat your loyal customers? While all these were happening, Tyler seemed unbothered. He continued having his meal. If there was one person who loved this menu so much, was Tyler. He enjoyed every meal on the menu. Was it because he knew what the menu was all about? Even when Tyler is served a breadless plate, to him, that was some form of classic presentation. It never bothered him at all. This really shocked Margot. Chef Slowick requests Margot to join him in the kitchen. He told Margot exactly what the menu is all about, that everybody is going to die tonight. I quote him so. The question, do you want to die with those who give or with those who take? She was given 15 minutes to decide. Dave, one of the diners, tried to break the glass window with a wooden chair, but unfortunately he wasn't successful. He wanted to run away. The restaurant became unbearable, people being subject to pain and trauma, something he never signed for. He came to the restaurant to enjoy life. He wanted to test the menu. He was being served a different menu. They are served palate cleanser, wild bergamot, and red clover tea. George asked Chef Slowick a question. He wanted to be told what was going on. The menu they agreed upon isn't the one being served, Chef told him, to think of themselves as the ingredients in a degustation concept. What? This is harsh, rude, and evil. I just don't know how to describe it. What will you call such a response? Chef Slowick told the diners he felt his artistic menu isn't appreciated as it should be, and that he was fooled into trying to satisfy people who could never be satisfied. The menu they agreed upon isn't the one being served, Chef told him, to think of themselves as the ingredients in a degustation concept. What? This is harsh, rude, and evil. I just don't know how to describe it. What will you call such a response? Chef Slowick told the diners he felt his artistic menu isn't appreciated as it should be, and that he was fooled into trying to satisfy people who could never be satisfied. Chef Slowick, the owner of the menu, was definitely referring to the food critics who always criticize chefs' artistic work, the work of coming up with a great menu. Imagine the hours and hours a chef spends on testing different types of ingredients in order to create an outstanding menu for the dinners, only to be criticized by the very people he is trying to embrace. These are the people he is referring to as people who could never be satisfied. Margot reveals who she is. She reveals her name. Her name is Erin and not Margot. She is from Brockton, Massachusetts. George felt like a failure. He didn't manage to escape even after being given a chance. His wife confessed to having stolen money from him. Here things get real. Margot fights Tyler for bringing her to this restaurant, knowing very well that everybody was going to die. Tyler broke up with his girlfriend. He had to hire Margot to be his girlfriend. But beside this, Tyler had information and all the secrets about the menu. Chef Slowick gave Tyler access to all the information about the restaurant and the menu for 8 months. Why would Tyler do this? The beautiful Margot. Tyler is taken to the kitchen to cook. I know I'm poor at cooking, but not like Tyler. His bullshit menu. He served Chef Slowick utter lack of cohesion, inedible shallot, leek butter sauce, and undercooked lamb. It was bad. Chef Slowick had to apologize for that pathetic cooking skill Tyler exposed. And whatever he cooked was not part of the menu. Savory course. Margot has to fetch a large barrel in order to prepare the dessert. The only savory course left to be served. Elsa got up with Margot, who was trying to enter Chef Slowick's house. Elsa picked the knife and wanted to stab. Unfortunately, Margot stabbed her, and she died on the spot. She can go and serve the devil that breadless plate too. She was very mean to the clients from the word go. Margot successfully enters Chef Slowick's house and makes a call to the police. She returned to the restaurant with a barrel and had conversations with Chef Slowick, the owner of the menu. He described himself as a monster who is acting without ego. His hands are like asbestos hands, that he can no longer be hurt. The chef talked about King, yes, Dr. Martin Luther King. I quote, "We know through painful experience that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed." Chef Slowick being the oppressor and his clients being the oppressed, they have to seek freedom. They can only attain that freedom if they escape from the cruel restaurant. If they won't escape, then they will be the ingredient of the menu. The fake coast. Guards showed up, but the chef had instructed the diners not to ask for any help or else they would kill the Coast Guard. So he told this fake Coast Guard that he is the executive officer and that the leadership changed recently. Really? The chef Slowick was clearly lying to the fake Coast Guard. He murdered the angel investor. You remember this? He again lied to the fake Coast Guard that they were in the middle of service. I found this quite laughable. Middle of service? Which service? You were terrorizing your customers. You had taken hostage your own customer. That's not service. Evil Chef Slowick. Chef Slowick tried to convince the fake Coast Guard that everything is okay by asking George to sign his autographs. George happens to be a famous celebrity in Hollywood. The fake Coast Guard and his wife liked George's movies a lot. George signed the autographs for Dale, the fake Coast Guard. However, instead of George signing up the autograph, he wrote on that paper, "Help us." When the fake Coast Guard read the paper, he quick pulled out the gun and ordered Chef to kneel down. Everybody was happy that they had been saved by this fake Coast Guard who happens to be one of the chef's staff members. Chef tells Margot she is an eater and a taker like the rest of the diners, then orders the final course plating in 5 to be served. This menu indeed was a special menu. Margot stops the cooks and ordered the chef to take back his food. She doesn't like it because Chef's food isn't cooked with love, a statement that Chef Slowick and his team dismisses with one voice. She came clean on Chef that he cooks his food with obsession and not love, that even his hot dishes are cold. Margot, the Iron Lady, she reminded him that he has failed to deliver on his duties. His duty, according to the beautiful Iron Lady Margot, was to prepare and serve people food that will make them happy. I actually like this part. She was real with him. She didn't fare him at all. She was starving. She wanted a real cheeseburger. Come on, I love cheeseburgers too. Who doesn't love a cheeseburger? In fact, Chef Slowick should started with this. The chef's menu lacked that. All she wanted was a medium American cheeseburger made with American cheese. I think I'm hungry too. After being served, Margot is given takeaways and then allowed to leave the restaurant. She ignites the boat and leave the island. Chef and the rest of the dinner got burned down in the restaurant. The movie's end here. The only survivor from this island was known other than our beautiful lady, Margot. This is a nice movie and I have watched it several times. A good family movie. Thanks for watching this Recapify show. I'm happy that you made it this far. Kindly subscribe, like, and don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Thank you very much. Bye. You get no